I done did a thing, and that thing was I went ahead and bought a solar panel. This solar panel, I saw a sale on Renogy's site, and I got to measuring, and I think I'm going to go a little more minimalistic, and I'm going to take off the cargo topper, and I'm going to run a solar panel for a little bit to see how I like that. It's only 175 watt, but it fits in between. It fits on top of my rack sideways almost perfectly. So all I had to do was get onto Amazon, and I bought some square U-bolts, and they were 1.2 inches wide, and my bar is 1.25. So I had to spread them out just a little bit in order to get them to work. So this is what I purchased. So it's got this bar, and it's got some nuts, and it's got some washers. But I'm replacing the nuts with some lock nuts. That's the only change I had to do. So I went to the store this morning, and I got some lock nuts so I can get this installed. So that's all it's gonna do is I'm gonna connect it 4 spots and connect it on my roof rack, and we'll get the line ran somewhere. We'll figure that out as we go. You'll find out a lot about me as I'll get something and I'll just make it work. I do a lot of thinking, and I do a little drawing here and there, but I do give some thought to it, and I'm going to get this solar panel mounted. So I'm going to go ahead, and these U-bolts are too long. I could not find the exact size. I bought another set first, and they were too big. So I went, because I knew these were a little smaller, and so I bought a 1 3/8 wide, and those were really long, and the threads didn't go down far enough. So I had to buy this one, spread it out just slightly to get this to work. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my Dremel, and I'm going to cut these U-bolts down about a 1/2 inch, maybe a little more. So whenever the panel goes down, it doesn't hit the underside of the solar panel. So because I'm gonna be throwing probably sparks here and there, I'm gonna go ahead and move this solar panel out of the way. That broke. All right, so I think after I got those cut, I'm going to put it on a different type of bit, and I'm going to kind of grind around to smooth that out. That way the nut goes on really good. It goes on smoothly. So basically I got to do that 6 more times, but I'm gonna get this one completed and then test fit it on the car to make sure before I do all of them. All right, let's go test fit this. Okay, we're gonna do a quick little test fitting. I still have my topper on. I'll get that off here after I do this. And let's test fit this, and let's see if I cut enough off the U-bolt. So it's just gonna go like this. I have this bar that's gonna go on here. I got 2 little washers. So when this solar panel sits on top, this here, I don't want this to hit the back of the solar panel. So that's why this needs to be a little short. I'm using the nuts that came with the U-bolt right now, but the lock nut is just a slightly little taller, and I just want to have a little bit of extra, and I think that's going to be fine. The distance that I can go to is probably 3/4 of an inch, and when that solar panel sits down on this 3/4, I got enough room. Ooh, I may not have enough room. Yeah, I have enough room. I have enough room to get the lock nut over the bolt to put the bolt on. I'm pretty sure. So what I may do is, before I cut down all the other ones, I think I'm going to take this off and let's get the solar panel up here and see what it looks like. Ooh, okay. Oh yeah, that's going to be perfect, I believe. The only thing that I have to do is, I think I have to spread my bars maybe a 1/2 inch. So, or not spread. I gotta bring one of them in. I'm gonna bring my front one in a 1/2 inch so this will overhang just a slightly enough so I can get this other U-bolt in and through. Yeah, this is the test fit that I was wanting to do. Ooh, yeah, this is the one I have cut, and it is just enough. Yeah, I think this is gonna be perfect. Yeah, I don't really have much room to work with underneath the panel, and I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to get a wrench in there to tighten it, because that's gonna be the key. I should be able to get something in there. A little open end wrench. Okay, I was able to get that started, but I forgot this bar. And so this bar is gonna hold it down on the inside of this frame. And I'll have that done in 4 spots. The bar, I'm looking at the bar right now. The bar is slightly curved, but that should be fine because I have enough give in that U-bolt. So, okay, it's just gonna be a little tight. And maybe one side's a little shorter than the other, I don't know. So we'll play with that until we get that just right. So the first kind of test fitting is going as planned. Oh, also, it may not be as curved as I think. I got that foam piece on there, so let me go remove that. Yeah, it's not as curved, but it is curved. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a few more things and get this front bar moved this way towards this one here, so I have a little more room so I can get that U-bolt into that frame hole. Oh, this is gonna be perfect, guys. I'm gonna step back here and let's look at it to see how obtrusive it looks. I may end up having to spray this frame black to kind of hide it a little better. But on this next trip, I just want to get this on here, and I want to get on the road. All right, I think I got that position just right. So let's tighten this down. All right, looks like I got it in the position I need it, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut down 3 more of these, and let's get this thing bolted up. I'm back. I just finished cutting all these U-bolts a little shorter. So I have these lock nuts as well. I got 2 washers, and I'm going to go ahead and start locking down each corner. Let's see how this goes. I know you can't quite see. I can barely see, but after I get this done, I will get my camera and I will zoom in there, but it's so tight. But I'm able to get my fingers in there barely and get a wrench, an open end wrench. All right, so that's that. I'm gonna leave this one undone while I tighten this one. And I have to kind of turn over the wrench every single time. It's a pain. Ooh, wrong way. Well, no, let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad I got these lock nuts. This is the way to go. Ooh, I think I was going to spray paint the frame. I was talking to my wife and she was like, yeah, that would look a little more stealth. And she's right. But I don't know if I want to spray paint it and wait. I think I just want to get it on the car. I may wait to spray paint it. It doesn't look that intrusive. It doesn't stick out from the rack. So it's not, I don't think it looks that bad. I think I'll just go ahead and mount this up the way it is. I'll take this next little trip and I can take some video and some pictures, and maybe y'all can let me know what y'all guys think, if I should paint it black, if I should just leave it as is. Just let me know. Oh, now it's getting to the point where I can't. It's a little tricky. Ooh, there. You just got to go all the way. Okay. You can start to see the threads coming through, and I think that's going to be good on that one. Let's get this. I know a lot of people are going to be asking, why are you doing this? Why can't you you got a Prius. Well, my Prius has got 182,000 miles on it. And even though, yes, I like to idle with my climate control, but I don't want to idle just for the battery, for charging the battery. So my thinking is if I can reduce some of my engine time, I can prolong the life of my car just a little longer. So that's my thinking, and I just want to play with some solar. How about that? All right, I think that's not going anywhere. So I'm gonna go do the other 3 corners, and then we're gonna have to figure out wiring. So after that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna pack this car up and I'm out of here. Okay, got it all tightened up and buttoned up. All that's left now is running the wiring, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you the connections. Let's see if we can't get in here and get a closer view. So that's what I'm working with. I have that on all 4 somewhat corners. I had to come inside this foot right here. But yeah, they're, I got 4 of them. I got those lock nuts on there. I don't think it's going anywhere. But here, I'll step back. Let's look at the car. Yeah, I think if I paint it black, I think it'll just almost disappear. It looks like maybe it got a cargo thing up there. I don't think it looks bad at all, guys. So, yep, here's the front, and you can see that it's barely hanging over by maybe a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. It's not much. I think this is gonna work, guys. Let me figure out how I'm gonna run this wiring, and I'll come back. Hey everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and remove my little countertop. I have to gain access back here so I can run this solar cable in here somehow, some way. I don't know how it's gonna work yet, but I want access to this, and I have to get this off of here so I can have access to this panel so I can unscrew this. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting all that done. I was thinking that if I can somehow, here, let me grab the cable. So here, this is a 10-foot solar cable. It's 12 gauge. And so my idea was to run it along here, come down here, and then I was just gonna have the lid close on it. This is a sheath that's kind of protecting the cable, so I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. So if I can like come in and then go underneath here, because I have another solar cable that is right here, so I don't need to, this only needs to go to right here, and I want to tuck it underneath because, as you know, my bed is right here. I just don't want this underneath the bed, so I want to kind of tuck it under here and get it. Yeah, I just think it's gonna be perfect right there. I don't think I need to take that out. Yeah, that's just gonna tuck underneath. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yep, I think that's gonna work, guys. So you can see I'm just gonna tuck it. I'm gonna run it underneath. It's like I almost want to get that big plastic tray in here to see how that's gonna fit. All right, here's that tray. Let's see, how does this tray go in here? Yeah, okay, that goes in like that. Ooh, there's a tie down. I'm wondering if I can kind of use this to kind of keep it. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. So yeah, see, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it'll just, my door will just shut down right on there like that. And as long as this can kind of keep hidden, and then this will tuck right here, and then I'm gonna have it go underneath this crack right here and then up to the panel. And I think that's gonna be how I run this thing. All right, I'm gonna start just trying to work at this and see if we can't get this just right. Got to get this attached up here. Some zip ties. Okay, so that's gonna go like that. Oh no! It needs to go on the other side, it needs to go right here. Oops. Yeah, I had a 15-foot solar cable, but it was 10 gauge and it was too thick to fit into this crack right here. So that's why I ordered a 10-foot 12 gauge, and I was hoping that would work, and it does. It's tight. Once it gets in there, it's like it's hard to come back out. And I just don't want to damage the wire any more than I have to kind of kink it a little bit. I'm not really kinking it, I'm just kind of forcing it in that crack. But it fits and it works, and so I didn't want it to come back out, so that's why I had to refeed everything. Let's see if that works like this. That's that. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Ooh! Back and forth. Ugh. There we go. Got that there. I thought about having this tucked under this weather stripping. Just pull this weather stripping up a little bit so I can get some of that. Let's see how this fits in here. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, I don't think I really got to do much. I think that's just gonna tuck right there. Yeah, there's that right there, but man, I think this is perfect. Yeah, you can't even see. It's just right there like that. So this will be good for when I want to change out my solar panel for my car topper. So this will make it really easy just to kind of remove. I don't really have any holes. It's not being fed crazy places. I think this is gonna work out. So we'll, like I said, we're gonna test it this trip, make sure, you know, I don't have any kinks and have to fix anything, but this is looking on the up and up. So good deal. All right, so, ooh, yeah, this is a mess in here. But yeah, I just have those tucked in right there. So that 10-foot cable ends here, and then I have the cable that came with the Blue Eddy, and that reaches to right here. So that cable goes from here to the front to where I'll plug in the battery. So yeah, when I get the battery installed and I get all this stuff cleaned back up, I'm gonna go ahead and show you those connections up there. But then up here, what we're gonna do, see how this comes out of the hatch and just follows along and then goes to that junction box right there. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get on Amazon right now, and I know there's these magnetic, I think it's called Mag Daddy, and they're magnetic and they stick to the roof, and then I can zip tie this going all the way. I'm gonna probably tuck it over here. I'll probably put 2 of those magnetic things here, maybe 1 or 2 over here, and so it doesn't vibrate into the wind. So let me get that on order, and let's get this put in so we can hit the road. While I got this still open and all my gear out, I wanted to show you how easy it is to get to the spare tire when there's nothing in here except that one support, and it's past this plastic tray. So if I had a flat tire, which I have had on the road, I've had to actually remove the stuff in the back and then pull this plastic bin out, and I have access to my spare tire. So I do have a spare tire in here, and I have my tow strap that I mentioned that I was gonna throw in here, but I got a little fix-a-flat back here. I got some like a tire repair kit right here. I got some jumper cables and such like that. So I just wanted to show you, you do have to have access to your spare tire or anything else that you may have stored under there. Some people, they just remove this whole thing and then they have maybe, I don't know, easier access if they just have a panel they can lift up. But I like this tray. I use this tray for like a stove and my fuels and my some of my kitchen items and such, so I can easily lift my lid right here. I lift the lid and I have access to some of the stuff right here. So I kind of like this tray right here, and it kind of hides all my other gear underneath. So I just thought I'd show you all that while I had this open. We're back. The solar panel's mounted. I took it for a test drive to make sure I didn't take off. But it looks like with the panel being flat and it's like almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the panel is drawing, I don't know if you can see that, 104 watts. I got the fridge on. The fridge is drawing only 29 watts. It's on eco mode. So yeah, this, you know, if I can get, if it stays above 100 watts all day, then this thing will always be topped off. The problem I was having in the last year is I would not run the car during the night. I usually don't run the car during the night. So when I wake up in the morning, if I went on a hike or, you know, I left to go on a, you know, go down river, I never ran the car. So the battery was never being charged. And then when I get back to camp, I'd be around other people, so I didn't want to run the battery. And so when I'm on a 3-day trip with, you know, with friends and whatnot, and somewhat, you know, just acquaintances, I don't want to run my car in the evening and kind of destroy the camp vibe. So this panel, I think, is really going to work out. So we're going to test it out for the next, you know, the next trip and see how it goes. And I'm going to report back to you to let you know, what kind of wattage I was getting from the panel. But it's a 175 watt Renogy panel, and you know, to get 100 watts at 4 o'clock in the afternoon with the panel being flat, I think it's pretty good. When the panel came in, I did test it, and I was angling it with the sun, and I was getting 178 watts. So the panel does produce the correct wattage. I'm happy about that. I was just a little surprised to be about 108. When I first installed it, it was like 124. When I was on the drive, depending on the angle of the sun where I was at, I got up to as high as 138. Being flat on the roof. So hey, I think it's a win, you know, for the amount of money that I'm spending on the panel, which was I had it shipped to me for $154. I think that's great. So let me show you how I ran the solar cable here. So here I have some magnetic, looks like some magnetic things that has like a little tie that I could tie to. I bought these initially for my tarp, and they're strong magnets, but they're just not strong enough to hold a tarp. So, but it's definitely going to hold these lines. So I had 2 of them, and I was going to purchase something on Amazon, but I had these 2, and I just made it work. So here it is, kind of being tucked in here. I got a cable tie behind here that's attached to this thing right here. So it's pretty, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Like I said, we'll test it and see how it does. But on that little drive that I took, I got up to 70, and I didn't hear any flapping or anything weird or anything, but it's pretty sturdy. I'm happy, guys. So what happens is this kind of comes in, it goes down, this, I've kind of put it underneath that weather stripping, and then it tucks, it just wraps around inside, and it goes right in here, and right here is where your 12-volt battery's at, and it just tucks down in here. It runs underneath this whatever, this cover here, and then let's see, I shouldn't have put the bed in. All right, we're gonna go around and see. But yeah, it just runs underneath this little panel right here, and it goes down, it tucks underneath this seat right here, and then I just have it coming out right there, and it plugs in to this other cable, and I ran the other cable underneath this and to the front. So I think this maybe is only maybe 6-7 feet, and then this other cable's 10. I never measured the cable from Blue Eddy, but I'm thinking it may only be 5-6 feet, maybe 6 feet. I don't know. So I hope that explains my solar setup. Maybe I'll talk about it a little more on the trip to kind of explain wattage usage and such, and seeing if I'm topped off every day and by what time. And my battery doesn't really give me an exact percentage of battery. I only get like a 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, you know, so I don't really have a lot of accurate readings. But this last year I was going really, really low, and I think one time I actually ran out and my fridge turned off. I didn't really have a lot of food in there, and it was at the end of the weekend, and no big deal. But I knew that was going to be an issue in the future, taking these river rafting trips and such, and being in a camp with others. So I hope this explains a lot, and if you have any comments or questions, I'll be glad to answer those at the in the comment section. Just go ahead and hit me up, and we'll have a conversation. 6 cars, and I think I'm just gonna pull in right here.